Hey guys, in this lesson we are going to model the restaurant, the windows and the door. So let's begin with the base structure. It will be a cube but more rectangular. Okay? So this will be the top part of the building. So let's adjust it. Perfect. And now we're going to make it editable. Press the C key. Perfect. And then go to the reference image and try to see the divisions we have in the building. For example, here we have a column, the space for the window, the space under the awning, and the last one is on the other side where the dogs get in. In this case, we'll make a cut here. First, select the edge mode, then right-click and select the Loop Path Cut tool to create our first segment. This option gives us a loop cut for the entire shape. Great! Just with one click, we've created the loop. And once again, another cut here and over there. So we have cut these parts to create the front and back columns. Now we need another one to do the door. And two more to create our window. 1 and 2. Perfect. So we have created all these cuts, and now we're going to use the Move tool and go to the polygon mode. Select the segments holding down Shift. Another one, and all these. Perfect. Now, holding Ctrl and using the Move tool, drag this down a little bit. More or less like this, I think. Now we have both sides done. The one where they get in and the one where they come out. We also have our door space. Okay, which is here. And we are missing the window space. How do we do it? Simply with a cut here. Right-click and select the Loop Path Cut tool. Cut here, and with the Move tool, select this polygon and press Delete. Then select this inner polygon and delete it too. So we have our window. See? What we have to do now is unite these segments here 2 by 2. Like this with this, and this with this. How are we going to do this? So just select, right-click. Well, first select the segments you want to unite and then right-click and select Bridge. Now, holding Shift, drag to the other polygon. So now we're going to do the same. Okay, Shift and drag. Perfect. So we've created our first polygon. Let's do the same with this polygon here. Select, right-click, Loop Path Cut tool. Okay. Hold Shift. Perfect. So we have created our second polygons. So now we are going to use another option. Right-click and select Close Polygon Hole and select the top part at the bottom part of our window. Great! Now we have the base of our restaurant. Now we are going to create some constraint lines. I'm going to tell you why afterwards. Go to Subdivision Surface and parent the cube to it. It will appear deformed, as you can see here. These lines I'm telling you about will prevent that. We need to make some cuts near the borders to define our shape. Great! What we're going to do is, after selecting the Edge mode, right-click and select the Loop Path Cut tool. Okay, right-click, select the option. Let's create another segment. But as you can see, it won't let us make the cut unless we have this edge selected. Okay, now we can use this tool properly. Okay, let's create our cut first, which is this one. Let's go to Subdivision Surface and turn on. And here you can notice that these cuts give us a cube shape in the borders. So we need to do the same with the entire object. So let's make some cuts in this part. So we can see that our shape is improving and looking better. Let's create another cut here, and I'll show you that sometimes the constraint line creates a cube in every edge, in every corner. So I've created this cut here, this other one here, and this one. Perfect. I'm going to do the same with all the sides of the object. So right-click, let's deselect it, right-click, loop, axis 1, and I'm going to create another one here at the bottom. So keep creating them one by one. So we'll see that this shape will be repeated in each edges. So you can see, we see the same shape, the same figure in each border. So let's activate again Subdivision Surface. And we see that our shape is improving, right? At least on the top. So now we have to change it a little bit. So right-click, loop, and cut. Another one here, another one here, and one here. And now we're going to see how it looks much better. Do you see it, right? So now we are going to improve and work with the other parts. So keep adding cuts. Another one here. Perfect. Another one here. Cut, cut. So add all the necessary cuts so that our shape improves. Our figure, so we want to improve our model. Let's see how it looks. Perfect. If we deactivate this, we see that this part is much better now after adding the cuts. But there's still some missing cuts. This part, we have to improve it still. We have to add some cuts. So let's add cuts, right-click, loop, and add cuts. Perfect. Let's create a cut in the inner part. Another one here, outside. Another one on the top, perfect. Here. So we just need to have a look and see where we need to add cuts. Perfect. So deselect and see that our figure is looking much better. So it looks more like a restaurant, right? Perfect. Ready. Now from here, we are going to create the door and the window. So we are going to create another cube and place it in the hole of the door. Move it to place it correctly and move it up. Perfect. Okay, modify the size. Perfect. So we have the base for the door. But now we need to create the small windows of the door, I mean. Press the C key to make the door editable. Let's look for a way to divide this door into 4 segments or polygons. Again, right-click and select the loop path. But this time we are going to change the options here in this window on the right. We're going to change the offset to 50% and it will be placed right in the middle and again in the other axis. Perfect. Now we're going to make an inner extrude over here. So change the layout of the model and select the 4 polygons to create these little windows. Thus, click on Inner Extrude and uncheck the Preserve Groups box. Then, hold left click and drag to the left. And now with the Extrude tool, create an extrusion to the inside. Great! And now we're going to use the bevel tool. That it's used to alter and modify the edges. So to do so, we are going to create a selection, a line selection, and then we have to see how many segments we need. Go to loop selection and start selecting the outer parts of the window and also these inner ones. That's it. Select this outer part too, like I'm doing. Perfect. And we are going to select the inner edges of the window. This one, and all of them. Now we're going to see how the selection works. Let's finish selecting the segments here. Fine. We are almost done. Perfect. So by holding Shift, we've been able to select all the segments. Perfect. So we have all of the segments we want to generate a bevel. Perfect. Now go to Create and set selection. As you can see, a triangle will appear over here. This means that if we deselect this and want to have these segments selected again, we only need to double-click on the triangle. So our selection is saved. This is a useful tool, as you can see. And this is the same for polygons. Now we're going to use a bevel deformer that we have here. Drag it to the cube, and as you can notice, the bevel is generating some subdivisions in these parts that we don't need. So we only need the subdivisions in the inner and outer parts of the window. So what do we do to have only these subdivisions where we want? So go to bevel and drag the triangle to the empty field next to selection over here. So now it's working only with the selected segment. This is a very useful tool, as I have told you, and I recommend you to practice it. Let's add an offset here and a couple of subdivisions. Great! Now we have the base of our restaurant and the base of our door. Let's make a render preview. And this is how it's looking. But let's hide the bevel and see the differences. Okay, the difference is huge because of the edges. So the edges are very important. Now we need to place the door properly. Select these segments and move them until this door fits the hole. Okay, perfect. Okay, let's move them down. Let's move it to the left. Okay. Activate the bevel. Done. Now we are going to duplicate our door. So hold Ctrl and drag it. Rotate it 90 degrees. 90, perfect. All right. And now we are going to place it in the hole. As it is a similar shape, we just need it to duplicate it and change its size. So move it up and change again these segments. So we've finished with our restaurant modeling. Okay, let me modify it a little bit. Perfect. Okay. So yeah, now we are ready. The window, the door, and the restaurant. See you in the next video.